if you want, hopefully you had a couple pieces of information through this, but let's make it real easy. I'm going to give you hold on. I'm going to give you a one-page cheat sheet, right? And this is really, in essence, what we're talking about today and the importance of financial records. So look at this checklist, and this is really, these are great questions to ask yourself all the time, all right? And if you can do this, then you don't need any of the other stuff we talked about today, all right? Do you have a business plan? Do you have a budget? Do you know what drives my business, your business? It's going to be different for everybody. What's the key to your business? Is it what's going to drive success? Is it turning assets over quickly, right? If you have maybe a retail business. If it's a CSA, you know, how efficient are you in your labor? Are you keeping your labor expenses down? Know what the 2 or 3 things about your business that makes your business unique and what drives your success, and measure those. You don't have to measure the 90 things we talked about. And I can give you 100 ratios, you know, liquidity ratios, leverage ratios, operating efficiency ratios, profitability ratios. You don't need 100, you need 2 or 3. And you just have to figure out which the right 2 or 3 are for you. What are your goals for this year? Should be pretty easy. What are my goals in 5 years? Maybe a little harder, maybe a little more difficult. Do I know what I need to be able to keep track of my financial success? And we talked about some of those things today. And how do I compare with my competition? Right? That's more the benchmarking that we talked about. How does that work? I'm going to, in the essence of time, because I think we are, running a little, Keith, I'll just run through this last slide. Options to bank financing, right? I just want to throw this out there as and Keith is absolutely right. Multiple business plans is what you're going to need, because what you need to drive your business is not what the banker needs to see or the investor or whoever else you're pitching the idea to. But there are other options. If you need money, banks, and you're a startup business and bank loans are going to be hard, you have options. Equipment leasing. Equipment leasing, because the leasing company is owning the equipment, it's a little bit different process. It's a little bit of a different credit review process. And it's a good way to lower your payments if you're on a really tight cash budget. Leasing may be better than buying in the short term if you're in a cash crunch. Renting, do you even need to buy it? Can you borrow it? Can you rent it? You know, everybody, Keith and I both run into farmers who have new paint disease, right? They love that new paint. They love the smell of new paint. And when the new model comes out, they got to buy the new model. That's great if you can afford it, but if you can't, you look at other options. And there are farmers out there who are just borrowing, you know, their entire toolbox may be a roll of duct tape, right? And they're just keeping things as long as they can.
Some of the most financially successful farm businesses that I've ever encountered
have the worst looking equipment.
You never know it by driving up in their driveway. Now, you would if you knew what to look for. The equipment looked old, but it looked sound. There weren't pieces falling off of it. The buildings were old, but they were sound. You know, they were well maintained. That's an indication of a healthy business.
FSA, in addition to farm credit, the services we provide, FSA provides a lot of services to brand new farms and operations. And they're worth talking to if you haven't talked to them already. Angels, family, friends, interested investors, right? Depending on what your business is. There may be other people that are interested in partnering with you. And you'll share in the financial success with them, but they'll be interested in partnering with you. And that's equity, right? And that really, the angel goes along with equity. There are loans and there are equity. Equity is, I'm going to give you money and I'm going to share in the risk reward. And if we make $1 zillion, I'll take a piece. And if we lose, we lose. But I'm a partner with you. Banks are, I gotta be careful with this. Banks will partner with you, but they're not your partners, right? They don't want the upside, they don't want the downside, they just want what's theirs, right? They want to get their loan repaid at a reasonable rate of return. You keep all the upside, but you take all the risk. And that's a very good model, but there are other options out there. If you're willing to share in the financial success and you believe in your model, there may be people out there who share in your passion. And I don't think this gets enough credit. Everyone gets kind of stressed out about, I have to make a decision, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do. What if you don't? What if you just didn't do it, right? If everybody says your prices are too high, too high, too high, what if I don't lower my price? What if I don't buy that piece of equipment? What if I don't bring in extra labor right now and I work an 80-hour work week myself? What happens if I don't do these things? And I don't think we give enough credit to that. We feel like as a business owner, we have to make certain decisions. Inaction can sometimes be the best thing you do. Real quick, just again, re-emphasizing what Farm Credit can offer. Two of the products that we have are really geared towards new businesses and young businesses. One is called the Farm Start Program, which is, will actually make investments in a farm, in a new farm, where, again, this is somebody who wants to do something, a small operation full-time, and really start growing a farm business. We'll actually partner with you and invest in your business with reasonable terms, and we'll sit down, we'll go through projections with you, and it's really a great way to start a farming operation. The other program we have is called the Generation Next, which is geared towards next generation farmers or young farmers. And these are typically done through seminars. It's typically a 2 to 3 day seminar that we have 2 to 3 times a year. And you can actually go and learn. We'll spend 3 days basically doing what we just did in an hour, right? Which is essentially what we'll do. We'll go through, and by the time you walk out of there, you'll know how to complete a balance sheet and do a business plan and a monthly pro forma projection, and really we're trying to train the next generation of farmers.
Management training, management training really, it's, labor management, day-to-day, time management. Is there ever enough time to get what you need to get done on a farm? No. I heard I don't remember the gentleman's name, but I heard it was a national level speaker on agriculture at a conference I went to last year. Says any given day on a farm, you've got probably 30 to 60,000 decisions, or well, in a year, the average farmer has 30 to 60,000 decisions to make. You can't make all of them right. The key is figuring out what the most important decisions are to get right and get them right consistently. That's one of your keys to success. I like that idea. Because when you really break it down to every single day on the farm, we've got lots of decisions to make. And we're not going to get them all right. But you just need to, okay, where do I need to focus my energy and my time and my knowledge? And maybe there's some decisions I need to hire somebody else to make for me. That's a idea that's really gaining popularity out there. So.